Greetings dear aspirants. Welcome to today's current affairs session of Civilspedia. Today we'll be discussing about the Bhil Tribes, Competition Commission of India and about the National Action Plan on Conservation of Migratory Birds under the Prelims topic and about Operation Greens under the Mains topic. So let's move on to our first Prelims topic about the Bhil Tribes. So there were two recent news with regards to the Bhil Tribes. One is the upcoming elections in the state of Madhya Pradesh where the Bhil community is at large in the Jhabua district of Madhya Pradesh. And the next thing is the Lakpati Kishan initiative of the Tata Trust. Lakpati Kishan. So it is about financial empowerment to the women farmers of these Bhil tribes. So what are the key words that we need to know when we are studying about any tribes of India? If the state in which these tribes reside, they might be residing in one state or in two or more states, and about the language, what is their language, what is the religion that they are following, and if any special festivals that are mainly being celebrated by this tribe, and something about history, if they were part of any independence struggle of India. So with regards to Bhil tribes, they are now the largest tribal population in India as per the 2011 census. In 2001, they were the second largest, just behind the Gond tribes. But now, in 2011, they are the largest tribal population. Now they are spread across more than 8 states, and they are now categorized or notified as the scheduled tribes in these 8 states. They are Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Tripura. Now if you see Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Maharashtra, here the Western Ghats come. So the tribal population is more in these 4 states near the Western Ghats, and the religion that they follow, depending on their locations across different states, some follow Hinduism, some follow Christianity and some also follows Islam, especially in the state of Uttar Pradesh where they are not scheduled as, where they are not notified as a scheduled tribes. So they are located in the Azamgarh districts. And the very famous festival that they celebrate is the Bhagoria festival, which is nothing but a traditional Swayamvar. So the prospective brides and bridegrooms attend this festival and they select their bride or bridegrooms of choice in this festival. Something into history is the Bhil uprising, which happened in the year 1817 to 1819, which happened against the British when British tried to take all these Bhil lands in the parts of Western Ghats surrounding the erstwhile 4 states of India, which are Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Rajasthan. This is all you need to know about Bhil tribes. The next topic is Competition Commission of India. So the recent news was that Competition Commission of India gave a clean sheet to Amazon and Flipkart. Amazon and Flipkart, that they are indulged in fair trade practices. So this is one of the main objective of the Competition Commission. So this Competition Commission has replaced the Monopolistic and the Restrictive Trade Practices Commission. It was set up as per the Competition Act of 2002, but it became fully functional only in the year 2009 after amending this 2002 Competition Act in the year 2007. So it was set up as a quasi-judicial statutory body. This you need to keep it in mind. So since it was set up as per this Competition Act, it is a statutory body and it has quasi-judicial powers, and it works under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So its members are 1 chairperson plus 3 members. When this Competition Commission was initially set up, the constitution was 1 chairperson plus 6 members. Now it has been downsized to 3 members in April 2018 because this present government wants minimum government but maximum governance. In line with that policy, now the members of this particular Competition Commission has been reduced. So what are the main functions of Competition Commission is, it aims to eliminate practices that adversely affects the competition in different industries, and basically it protects the consumers' interests and ensures the freedom of trade. So this is all you need to keep it in mind with prelims point of view. With this, we are moving on to our next topic, the National Action Plan on Conserving the Migratory Birds and their Habitats along the Central Asian Flyway. So here the topic is very big. Let's see from prelims point of view what all we need to know. The key words that we need to know are conservation. So you have conservation here. Next thing is the migratory birds, the subject of interest, and about the habitats of this migratory birds, and about the Central Asian Flyway. So these are the 4 keywords under this topic that you need to know for prelims point of view. And why it was in recent news is the case of India's disappearing wetlands. So whatever wetlands in India, might be in the rural areas or in the urban areas, are now slowly degrading. So they're disappearing. This is the recent news. So let's see with respect to the keywords. So what is the Central Asian Flyway? Central Asian Flyway. So I'll put this as CAF. I'm abbreviating this as CAF, Central Asian Flyway. So it is an area where birds move on from one location to other location for breeding, for wintering, or just for staying there for a short temporary period of time. So this is the Central Asian Flyway. So this consists of about 30 countries. If you see, there are totally 9 such flyways across the world, and Central Asian Flyway is one among them. So there are 6 components under this National Action Plan on Conservation of Migratory Birds, because there is recent news that the migratory birds population is dwindling in numbers, especially in countries like in India, or the migratory patterns have largely changed because of the habitats, change in the habitats in countries like India, because India is a fast developing country and there is a larger destruction of the natural habitats. So both the urban and the rural areas. So because of the change in the habitats, this change in the pattern of migratory birds itself is changing. So this National Action Plan has come into prominence in order to conserve this migratory birds population and also their habitats along the Central Asian Flyway. So there are 6 interrelated components that you need to know. It is species conservation, habitat conservation and sustainable management, about the capacity development for these conserving the migratory birds, and about the communication and the outreach programs, and the research and monitoring, and the international cooperation. If you see under species conservation, single species action plan has been proposed. Single species action plan has been proposed, and some 20 targeted single species and their particular habitats have been identified and have been appended under this National Action Plan in order to conserve them. Next is the habitat conservation. So this action plan also integrates some of the action plans under this conservation of migratory species, about the Ramsar wetlands, and about the conservation of biological diversity, etc., in order to maintain the habitat. So the habitats can either be wetlands, it can be important bird areas, it also can be important protected areas for tigers or any other wild animals for that sake. So this is about the habitat conservation. Next thing is the capacity development. In order to train the personnel who are involved in conservation. So here it is the forest officer, and also to develop the institutions that are needed for conserving these migratory species. Next thing is the communication and outreach. So this needs cooperation from the civil society organizations at community level participation, and a concept called student ambassadors has been proposed. Student ambassadors has been proposed in order to conserve these migratory birds. Next thing is the research and monitoring. Here a database for the Central Asian Flyway birds has been proposed to be created. And with regards to international cooperation, a Central Asian Flyway Secretariat has been proposed to be set up in India. This is all about the 6 components of this particular National Action Plan. When we see the national commitments of India in the international bodies such as CMS, Ramsar, CBD sites, also your sustainable development goals, about the Sendai framework for disaster management, and in the Paris Climate Agreement, have all been taken into account while developing this National Action Plan for conserving this migratory birds. So this is all about this particular topic. And one more point is that the wildlife division of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change will be coordinating this particular national action plan. This is all about this topic. With this, we are moving on to our main topic, Operation Greens. So Operation Greens has been proposed by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. So it was laid down in this year finance budget with an outlay of 500 crores for initiating this Operation Green. So what is the main objective is to stabilize the supply of the TOP crops. T is for tomato, O for onion and P for potato. So the top crops in order to stabilize their supply for a country-wide availability and to reduce their price fluctuation during seasonal level. So this is all about the operational greens. So they have proposed two measures. One thing is the special measures and next thing is the grant in aid. So this is a short-term measure and this is a long-term measure by providing grant in aids. So what is the desired output is to enhance the production of these top crops and augmenting the value chain. So here comes the value chain. I would like to illustrate what is the value chain, especially when it comes to production of the crops, vegetables of TOP, the tomato, onion and the potatoes. So let me start illustrating it. So you have tomato crop, onion crop and potato crops. So you need inputs such as seeds, fertilizers and any agricultural machineries. These are the inputs. Once you produce this particular crop, you either send it for food processing if it is found in abundance, or you are sending it for post-harvest processing. Post-harvest processing. So this involves grading of the vegetables according to their sizes, colors and shape and cleaning them and sending it to the market. So before sending, it will be sent to a central storage. It can be a centralized warehouse at state levels or district levels. State levels or district levels. From these, it goes to marketable points, the marketing points. I'm just putting it MP here, marketing points. From the marketing points, it can be rural, semi-urban or urban. It goes to retailing shops, retail shops. So this is the supply chain, okay? So this involves production, this involves processing. It can be either the food processing, which means for tomatoes where you produce sauces, ketchups, etc. Or the post-harvest processing of the vegetables as such, and they are being sent into storage. From storage they go to the marketing chain and finally to the end consumers. So here it is the end consumers. So everywhere a certain amount of logistics is involved. Logistics involved here. Everywhere logistics is involved. So this is the logistics, agri-logistics. So this comes under the service sector. So from this particular chart, we can know who are the stakeholders. So the stakeholders here are farmers or the farmer producer organizations, also called as FPOs. They can be cooperative societies, especially at this level. At this level, the industry, the food processing industry, I'm putting it food processing industry, or here the post-harvest processing industry, and here the warehousing industry or the cold chain infrastructure, and here the storage, and finally the logistic industry at all the levels. So these are the stakeholders under this particular Operation Green. So this is all about the entire chain. So where all the government needs to target is to have a proper process plan. To have a proper production plan. Number one. And here, to reduce the post-harvest losses. To reduce the post-harvest losses. And to increase the food processing capacities. Number three. Number four, to increase the storage infrastructure. And finally, to improve the logistics infrastructure. So these are the long-term plans for the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Short-term, when it comes, now whatever crops that has been produced has to be sent to storage places, immediate storage places for immediate consumption. This is one thing. And second thing too, for the post-harvest processing. So here, price stabilization and value realization for the farmer is required. So this is all about this particular Operation Green. So short term and long term. Short term, we have transportation of the TOP crops from the production to the storage and hiring of appropriate storage facilities. So here the nodal agency will be the NAFED, National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation. This is under the Ministry of Agriculture. This you need to keep it in mind. For prelims point of view, they can ask who is the nodal agency for operating this Operation Green. It is NAFED under the Ministry of Agriculture. So long term, I have discussed everything from capacity building to quality production to post-harvest processing, agri-logistics, marketing consumption points, and finally a e-platform for managing this demand and supply of this top crops at the overall level. So this is all about the Operation Greens. With this, we are winding up our today's topic. Please do like, comment and share the video, and please subscribe for Shankar IAS Academy channel for latest videos and updates. Stay focused and motivated, friends. Thank you.